Am I Bose?
What's up,
Sir.
Tom?
Another episode of Broken Bear Conversations.
What's up, everybody? It's another episode of Broken Bear Conversations. Not Hotbox Thoughts, just regular Broken Bear
Yeah.
Conversations. But I did take one hit. And Josh, did you smoke a whole joint, or was
No,
it
I took like 3 or 4 hits.
3 or 4 hits? So we're a little bit, buzzed, I guess.
I'm a little buzzed, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, before we get started, check us out on all platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Broken Bear Conversations. But yeah, anyway, this is kind of a part 2 to the previous video we just recorded. Just kind of continuing what we're talking about. And in the previous video, we're talking about how basically the main message was that everything happens for a reason. And we just gave examples in our life about how we have people come into our life that, taught us a lesson or were there for a reason. And then we talked about how the people that are in our life that we're very close to, we feel like we have this very interesting connection with them. Where like something could be going wrong in their life and we just know, So we're just continuing on that. And I want to talk about how not only do people enter your life, but sometimes people leave, and it's like meant to be as well, And I say that because like I want to talk about kind of like a little bit of my crypto journey. So I first got into crypto in 2019, right? And around that time, before I even got into it, I would say I talked to a lot more people, had a lot more acquaintances and all that, right? But around that time was also when I had a shift in my life where I kind of changed who I was in my trajectory in life because I went from wanting to go to school and college and try to get a career to instead deciding to take a different route and to instead work. I was already working, but continue working.
Yeah.
And take all that money and save it / invest it. And I was gonna at first just work and save all that money in the bank to get enough to buy a down payment on a house. Like put up 20K, and then my uncle put up another 20K, 40K in total for a house. And then we got into investing, and we got into stocks, and that led us to get into crypto, which helped us reach that goal faster. Instead of just saving up cash, we could put it somewhere and grow and save at the same time.
Which is like the old way, I feel like.
Yeah. So got into crypto a lot, and around that time, I did tell some people around me to do it as well, and a lot of them weren't into it as much as me, but some were, But anyway, as time went on, around that time, I also started changing myself as well, because I changed my path in life instead of going to school to invest and do all this other stuff. But I made me reevaluate my whole life, because around that time, I told you this too, I read this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I
highly recommend.
Yeah, and I had an epiphany when I read that, and it made me like reevaluate my whole life. It talks about money management and assets, liabilities, and all this other stuff, and it opened my mind a lot, and it made me like reevaluate the way I spend money. I'm like, why am I spending all my money on all these like nice brand clothes, shoes, materialistic stuff? When I could be putting it into investments and making that grow. But then that led me down a rabbit hole, not only like thinking about how I spend money, but also thinking about my life and how I act in general towards a lot of things, right? And it kind of made me realize that a lot of people around me, I would just around them because I was like trying to be cool, I want to be around the cool people, I was only around people because they were cool, not because I liked them.
Weird.
Like that. But that happens a lot, especially in the I just got out of high school.
Yeah,
It
no.
happens in high school.
No, yeah.
Where some people just click up and hang around this certain group, but the whole time they could be like in a group of like gangsters, but the whole time on the inside they're like a nerd,
Yeah.
They're like, I gotta hang around these gangsters because that's just how it is, And then after you get out of high school, you really become your true self if you decide to. Some people just stay like that.
Yeah, no, a lot of people they fall in these cliques, yeah.
Yeah, but that was me.
Yeah.
And I was around people that I looking back, I was not like them at all, because inside I'm like an anime person, a gamer person. These people were not, they're like cooler, popular people, right? So not only did I also reevaluated just me not fitting in, but also like these people some of them are not nice to me.
Yeah.
Some of them, like, eventually, I start separating myself from people. Just stop. I just stop talking to you if I don't mess with you like that, I
Yeah.
just ghost you. So I ghost a lot of people. And then it was interesting because like I remember this is around the same time I was getting into crypto and trying to make money off of that, right? And I was telling people like, yeah, this is a way to make money. I'm gonna make a good amount of money, you know. I was saying a lot of, you know, just bigging myself up. That way. But a lot of people didn't believe it, you know. And then it led to a point where like I was just on my own doing the crypto thing, and then no one really believed it, you know. A lot of people, if anything, were against me when I did that, you know. And then eventually, I was right, and I did make a good amount of money. I told you how much I made.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really like to put it out there, but I made a good amount of money, and now everybody was like talking to me about it, you know. And then like some people that I would reach out to hang out with, it was interesting because when I would hang out with them, they would try to lead the conversation and talk about crypto and what they should invest into, right? So I was like, oh, it's interesting how before I got into crypto, I was around a lot of people.
Alright, charge for your advice.
I know, but then like I didn't want to be around them no more.
Yeah.
So life just happened in a way where like I was more alone and not around a lot of people now. And then I did well for myself while I was alone. And then now that I did well for myself, people want to come back into my life. You know what I mean? So that was just an example of how sometimes people get taken out of your life for a reason, you know, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're making money off of this, and you and everyone around you is making money off of it because you're helping them out.
Yeah.
But the whole time they're not your true friends.
No.
They're just snakes, you know. So it was good that I wasn't taken
and
advantage of.
Yeah.
'Cause I was separated from everybody, you know. And
No,
that
it's
happens in
makes
life.
sense, man.
Sometimes it's like people are just gotta get away from you, and life just gets them away from you somehow, and it works out because they weren't meant to be with you. You know?
No, I really feel like if someone's meant to be in your life, they'll stay around.
Yeah.
Like that's it. And I think a lot of people aren't aware how to find those true friends because, like you said, people get like I'm guilty the same thing in high school because you're high school trying to figure it out. You know, I went to a smaller school, it was different, but I feel like in a bigger school, it's a lot harder to find those cliques because it's a lot of people. You know, you gotta really invest in yourself to find those things. But I feel like those patterns, people just repeat it because they're trying to find it. You know, but I think by you recognizing it, that's pretty important to have that shit just to be able to unclick from it when you need to unclick from it. Because that sometimes we're all guilty. We have to be that at work, you know, in other situations. But in your personal life, no, you should surround, like there was I think in that book, no, it's a different book where it has like, you should surround yourself with like mentors, you know, people that are trying to help you out, that want to, you know, support and do different things, but also have their own shit going on is important. But that's when you start realizing who your real friends are, because you'll start seeing it. But it's important, like you said, to unclick and be able to pay attention to those fucking patterns.
Yeah, it was interesting too because after I made money off of crypto, now people were coming to me asking for advice.
Again, charge them for it, man. Charge them.
It was interesting because a lot of these people I did not mess with like that.
Yeah.
Know? But I'm still trying to be friends with them, whatever, you know, because I'm like, I mean, I'm not like, I'm like, I want to be friends with you guys, you know?
Yeah.
And then I gave them advice to buy this certain coin, right? And then, funny enough, the thing with crypto is you're not gonna be 100% right.
No.
So I was wrong on those coins, and they lost money. But looking back, I'm like, good. I think that was meant to happen.
If I meant that,
These are not my true friends.
Yeah.
I get all the people that I gave bad advice to, they were not real friends.
But also,
you know?
they could do their own research. You give them enough to invest in crypto. That's enough to obviously it worked out for you. Now do your own research and figure out what's best investment for you. And if you listen to your internal self, to fill a pool.
Yeah,
for sure.
But you know, people try to like take advantage of nice people.
They do,
and that's what happened to me.
No, I still struggle with that because sometimes I just like to help people out regardless, but also people will just take advantage as much as they want to.
Yeah. So I think all that happened to me was to show me a lesson to want to be able to look out and like scam people in a way to figure out if they're really real or if they're just using me.
Yeah.
I have a lot of good examples of fake people, so now I know what to look out for. And two, to set boundaries, you know? Because now I know not to, for example, when it comes to crypto, not to tell everyone about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everyone's going to come to me.
Yeah.
And also to be selective on who I tell, because I don't want to tell someone that don't really mess with, and now they're going to try to talk to me. And then now I have to set that boundary, and it's really awkward, you know? But now I'm comfortable with doing that.
Yeah.
So I think all that happened was for me to grow and learn all that.
No, I think you're right, because that makes sense. Because you've made me want to invest in crypto. Like I would do the same thing. Like, oh, I should have done it then. Like maybe I'll wait until I find out one. Fuck it, don't matter. Just pick one. And you'll at least get something. At least you get something started. It's about putting that first step.
I don't know if you should just pick one.
You know what I mean? Like, listen to your research, whatever. I mean, I'm
Okay.
probably gonna research and find the right one to pick, but
'Cause, when it comes to crypto, 99% of them are shit.
oh shit!
So
All
you
right,
can't just pick one.
well, there you go. Well,
because you're fucked.
I meant just like trying to learn to which one to invest in, find that out, and just like really, it's probably fun. It's gonna be hard to understand all of it because it seems like playing the stock market. It seems the same. You just gotta do a lot of research in it to really trust knowledge and pay attention to things. It's a lot of things to recognize, but again, it's new knowledge to learn.
Yeah.
I feel like there's classes on it to really truly learn it. I mean, I'm sure you probably researched a fuck ton before you started investing. Yeah. But no, I think you'll see your true friends when you start. You'll notice it even in life when you start slowly just deciding to change and be someone different. You'll rub people differently. You'll see it.
Yeah. Now, to be honest, I kind of like saying no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you're like and this is how I was before, if you're a people pleaser,
Yeah.
you're too nice, want to say yes to everything, and not only that, you kind of overextend yourself
Yeah.
and offer to do things that you don't have to, you know. And people take advantage of that. But for me, I kind of like saying no, and setting my boundaries a lot. Cause reason being is because that's a test.
Yeah.
If you can't handle that, then you're not a real friend.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You're good. So now I already set that filter at the beginning. Not 10 steps down the line, we have to say no. I'm saying it right at the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I agree with you now. I'm in that spot where you have to learn how to say no at the same time. Because I was a person a long time ago. I said no to everything. I never like doing shit. I know I told you about the movie Yes Man to watch. It was a very good example where you just be doing your own thing and people having fun. You're missing life because you're always just saying no. And I was like that for a while. But I feel like I needed to do my own thing. But then I just started saying yes to everything. But I think I needed to do that. So like you. So I burned myself out because I was doing too much shit. And I kept saying yes. But that taught me a lesson. Now I can say yes to stuff that's okay, but also learn it's okay to say no. But like otherwise I would say no to everything, missing out on shit. There's stuff I can say yes to, but it's like I had to learn how to do that, so I had to do both extremes, it feels like. Even though that was a long fucking lesson, but now I feel like I'm at the point where, I can say no. I'm not going to worry about it, because I feel like I finally reached that. Before I would just say no because I wouldn't even give it a thought. But now I'm actually thinking I'll consider shit and I'll give them a proper answer versus immediately saying yes or immediately saying no. Yeah. I feel like that was a trauma response, both of them.
I agree.
But yeah, I'm stepping into something different. I feel like, no way, you know what? I know that. I feel comfortable in either one if I was to agree to, because I used to always set myself on fire constantly. I don't intentionally want to do it. It's just that I would end up doing it. But I think seem like you're already at the point where you know yourself enough where you can say no or yes to something. And it's like, and I don't think enough people know themselves like that.
Yeah, I if anything, I love stepping into a situation where there could be some confrontation.
Billionaires say the same shit.
Yeah, not to say like a fight situation.
No,
just
yeah.
like, when I can like call someone out and stuff.
Yeah.
You see me do that on the podcast.
Yeah.
Sometimes people say something and I'm like, I'm not gonna let that slide. I want to call you out. And see
Yeah.
what you
No,
gotta
it's
say.
important.
I love
It's
that.
important to be bold like
Yeah,
that.
'cause
No.
that's not. I think that's more about honesty. I want people to be honest, and sometimes when I see people say BS,
Yeah.
I think also it's because a lot of times in my life, I've seen people say BS, and I didn't say anything. I just let people slide. Now, since I've been through that so much, I'm like, I don't want to ever go through that again. So if anything, I'm extra hard on that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it's important. Like I am thankful. That's one of the biggest things I'm thankful for is my mom really taught me to be honest and just be blunt. And I'm so used to doing that, and I realize it can rub people the wrong way because I'm usually too honest. I don't need to be as blunt as I can be, but I think it's important to be honest. But there's ways to tell the truth that you don't have to be, hurt someone's feelings. You can still tell the truth and be gentle about it if they need to. But I think it's important for people to know the truth so they can even do their own stuff, because they may not like it, but that's up to them to figure out what they want to do with it. You have no control over how they're gonna react. You just know what's true to you. If you want to say no or yes or tell the truth to it, you say it. If they're gonna react how they're gonna react. It's I think people are afraid of their reactions, so they'll lie or do something like that, and I think that's harmful to your own spirit. You just do it little by little, slowly chipping away at who you are. Truth feels good, always, man. That's how I've always believed. But I'm thankful that I learned that. It feels like you had to experience some different things to figure out what is good for, what is the truth you want to use and how you want to use it.
I've always been an honest person.
Yeah.
It's just I was too shy.
Yeah, so I mean,
Too,
you had to have that boldness take over you.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people struggle. How did you find your boldness?
I would say it goes back to people around you. I would say being around my friend D. 'Cause
Okay.
I worked with him at a previous job, and he's a very outgoing, calls people out type person, you know. And I was not that type of person. I was very quiet, people pleaser type person.
Yeah.
Being around him every day because I worked with him every day, it rubbed off on me.
No, it's
So
good.
that was also one of those moments where sometimes you're meant to meet people.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was meant to meet him because I met him after I just left my other job with those previous people who T and all of them at my fried chicken job.
Yeah.
I just left that job where they like took advantage of me. I didn't feel good at that job all the time 'cause I could tell they weren't real friends, you know. And then that kind of like put me down a lot as a person and like kind of destroyed me in a way.
No, I
And it was
understand
interesting
that.
how my next job I meet D, who if anything helped rebuild me as a person and
Yeah.
build up my confidence and all that. Because being around him, he's a very confident, tough dude, you know, outgoing dude, loud guy. So that rubbed off on me, and it took me out of that hole,
Yeah.
feeling like a piece of shit,
Yeah.
you know, and it made me more confident. And then now to this day, the way I act is because of him. I wasn't like this before. I was a lot more quiet, a lot more passive. I wouldn't
Yeah.
help people out on things. I wouldn't joke around, you know. And it's all because of him, honestly, being around him all the time. So it was crazy how I just met him after all that happened, you know. That was definitely
No,
what
I
meant to
think-
be type of thing.
No, it's like we were saying, the connections in life, we may not see it. It's like it's why it's important to learn how to be more aware of situations. Sometimes we get on autopilot too often, but I feel like by you being more aware, you're able to see these connections and grow and learn, because sometimes people miss that shit. But you're seeing it, how patience obviously is a factor, because these connections, life will, it's like you not really trying to control different things, just like what you can control, which is inside of you. Outwardly, a lot of shit, there's a lot of moving parts in this fucking world, but if you inwardly are wanting something and outwardly speak it, stuff like that, it seems like shit just comes to you if you really want it. And I feel like if I look back on my life, the same thing, I just been subconsciously, like almost like autopilot, subconsciously following it, but still doing shit. But I don't think I was fully aware of my situations like you are in all of my life, just
Yeah.
bits.
I mean, everybody's goes at their own pace, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't really aware of a lot of things up until the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, because after reading that book, it made me reevaluate my spending. But again, like I said, it led me down a rabbit hole of reevaluating not only the spending but everything in life.
Yeah, no, it's it made me just open my mind up differently. I wasn't aware of patterns that I'm like, fuck, I see them now. I'm like, I think I was sort of understanding them, but it wasn't painted in such a better picture where I'm like, fuck. Yeah. It did a very good job.
Patterns are definitely a thing that happens, and I feel like not really pattern related, but related to like everything happening for a reason. And it's interesting how the sequence of events.
That's pattern related to me. Everything happened for a reason. That's pattern related.
Because around that time of me transitioning to that new job, I just left a toxic work environment with toxic friends, right? That brought me down. I go to this new job that I like better. Meet D, who else built up my confidence. But also, interesting enough, that job that I go to, I work at night, and we have a lot of downtime. Not downtime, but, you know, time to ourselves. And they let us listen to music and stuff. And around that time, I started picking up podcasts. And I got really into podcasts. And just fell in love with podcasts and then listening to all these people tell their stories. And it was interesting how I needed that right at that moment.
Yeah,
Because
no, you're right.
At that moment, I reevaluated my whole life. I wanted to like really listen to what people had to say and teach me. And I found podcasts, and I had this unlimited library of people that could been through all different types of lives.
You can hear about
talking
them and
to me
understand.
in my ear. And and I just coincidentally got this job that let me do that.
Yeah.
So it was interesting how everything lined up in that way for me to finally work on myself in that way.
Yeah.
You know? And then that also led me to wanting to do my own podcast.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing my own fucking podcast.
Yeah, no, it's
You know?
it's true. Things sync up. It's like you're seeing it, and like you may have your own different goals. It's like if you take a break, like you're saying, separating yourself from like these versions of you that you want and stuff like that, and it's like then there's you that you're working on. And I feel like shit just comes to that. Like you're harnessing that energy. I feel like something's in you. I don't know if that something clicked on for you when you're younger, but you feel like you're doing that naturally. Is that awareness clicked in for you, but you're just things are working out because you manifested them in a sense. But you were wanting it and you designed it and worked the
Just
life
gotta
kind
put
of.
in the work, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I can't just like
No, again, it's by action.
Yeah,
It's by
willy-nilly
action always.
wish for a better life. I'm actually doing shit.
No, it's goals with action.
Yeah.
No, I look at shit like when you like even when you're telling that, I start seeing things more like a spider web, like our world. Like we have each point makes these little impacts, and they go all these different directions, and they can just but it's like connecting. I feel like we're supposed to be on that straight path where we're supposed to go to this end point, right? We do waver in and out, but I feel like these little connecting things, it's like each interaction's like its own little point on this fucking web wherever it goes. And I think our obstacle and goals, obviously, it's you want to get to the best version of yourself, the higher self, you know, where you can just, where you, I guess basically only love exists. I don't know what else would exist there. Well, if you get that version of yourself where you're just the life, things don't rub you the same way. I don't know. I'm not sure what that would be like. It just sounds different. But I guess that's the end goal. I'm not sure what the end goal is for you, but I guess
I mean, you know, what's my goal is just to have a family.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, that's what I mean. Just like, but I'm assuming you're still gonna keep working on inward shit and who you are. Yeah.
Of course.
Like, so the end goal, I don't know what that eventually would be, but it's like,
there's an end goal. It's just about growing.
Just about growing and finding that inner peace, I guess.
Just enjoying the journey, not
Yeah.
really looking at the end.
That's it. Learning to enjoy the journey, and like I think that's important. Like you're just enjoying the journey, but it's also learning to enjoy it by building yourself. Because I think I started looking at things like trying to build. If you want to make a strong foundation, you have to really build it with good shit. You know, if you have all this other shit that's bad connected with it, as soon as you rip that out, you're gonna have to fucking start building that shit back over from the ground up. But if you started building all this shit from the ground up, my God, is that gonna be the motherfucking strong house?
I agree.
And I feel like that's what you kind of already are doing, that's fucking great. And that's why I like podcasts, just like you said. You listen to when you need it, but I feel like people have a hard time trying to find these ways to unlock or ways to connect to each other. And I feel like podcasts are great. It just helps people. You hear people's stories, you hear different people going through different shit, and it kind of helps people get a new insight on life. It helped me tremendously when I started learning how to listen to them.
Yeah, podcasts are such a great way to get information because now you can literally watch a video on YouTube of two billionaires talking on the same table, which 50 years ago you would never be in the same room as two billionaires.
No, and you technically are when you're watching it.
Yeah,
you're in that room.
You can watch a podcast of Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Talking with fucking Joe Rogan. Two very like big people in the world. And you can just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's like that expression, you want to be a fly in the room?
Yeah.
We can be these flies in these fucking rooms now. And that's, I think internet, it literally changed the world. It opened me up. I didn't realize how different things were, because I know they say travel broadens the mind. Fucking internet broadens the mind if you're really looking for different things and learning, because there's so much information out there for sure. But I think it's a big change. And I like the connections in life. It seems crazy, but it feels like we've all been the same people over and over and over, just repeating shit.
Yeah, there's a very crazy, I don't know how you would say this, like story or philosophical thought called the egg.
The egg,
where,
alright.
You die and you wake up and you're like in this void or in this world, right? And you see like a figure in front of you and you talk to that figure.
Yeah.
And it's like this figure you can tell is like above you in a way, like more knowing, more godly than you know? And you talk to this figure, and this figure's telling you about your life, what happened in your life, like, oh, you died because of this. Your wife's gonna be sad for a couple months, but she'll find someone else. You know, your kids are gonna grow up, always think about you, and then they're gonna have kids, and they're gonna have kids, and those kids aren't gonna know about you. You know, just telling you about what happens in your life and what happens after. You know, and then he's like, all right. And the interesting thing is that that's you dead right there, but when you die, you also get reborn, and you're your wife. Now you live as your wife's life, and you see your wife and everything she went through, how she met you, and then you died, and she meets the next person, and then she dies, and now you're your kid, and now you get to experience your whole life from your kid's life, and this and this and this, and it just kind of shows you that we're all each other.
Yeah.
And that when you die, you experience the next person's life until you experience every single person on earth, their lives, their problems, their dreams. And then you die, and now you become that figure.
Yeah.
And now you help the next person. It's just a crazy thought.
No, it really is. I really feel like we are all connected. It just feels.
Yeah, I hope not, because sometimes there's like weird people in the world.
No, there are. Hey, man.
I wish I'm not you.
No, hey man, if you embrace it, if you truly look at yourself, man, you're gotta be weird. You haven't had that weird side, that part of you, right?
But some people are just weird.
No, well, I will say yeah, because I remember I was at a light the other day coming back from as a drive around downtown Seattle, and there was this dude whistling. He looked normal, but then he had his hands in his pants and digging in his ass.
Yeah,
But he's just whistling. I'm
I don't
like,
wanna
happy
be-
as can be.
I don't want to be.
That's you, Zico. That's a version of you.
I want to keep in thought that I am my own
Yeah.
soul and ego separate from everyone else. I
Yeah.
am connected and not that connected.
Yeah, no, I agree and with some of that for sure. As I feel like there's again, it all comes back to that DMT trip. Understand or never
100%.
understand. We won't. There's so many. There's who in the fuck knows. We won't ever truly know until we depart from this world, and then we'll be in a different part, whatever the fuck is going on. Who knows? Or we just or it's just a different version of life. You like you said, just we just repeating the same thing.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, I'm not really stressing about what happens after. I'm just enjoying this life.
No, and I think that's important. I feel like people tend to miss life. Like I think I brought up a point where this dad, I don't know if I talked about this before, he was working at UPS and I was doing like working over there part-time, and he was telling me he had like a little kid and he was working so much during Christmas. I was like, oh, how often do you get to see your kid? He's like, I saw him for 10 minutes all week. I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Making all this money. He's talking about how much money he's making. That's why he does it. He's making so much. He's for their future. He's investing. I'm like, but yeah, your kid's probably not gonna want any of that money. Because their memories of you are just this person that's there, and you might have some loving moments, but you also I don't know how your home life is, but I'm assuming it's not the best if you're never there. And I was just trying to think of different things, and I was like, wow, that sounds incredibly sad. Just hearing that, I'm like, to me, what's the point if that's all you're doing? And you have a kid. To me, like, I don't know, there's gotta be a different version of life, but to me, if your kid, to him, it's not like it was the most important thing. But then if you working all the time, you're missing it. You're missing your most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
That must be if that's your true joy, because I know he wants to give him the best life. It's the wrong way to do it. If you're not there, you're missing it. That's not how life should be. You shouldn't be missing what your favorite thing is right there. Like if that's your kid, that's what we put into. I feel like our human experience, we forget that. We tend to be focused on this one thing, but that's not an experience. It's made up, you know?
I completely agree. Sometimes people focus on the wrong thing. I heard this other story about this dad who didn't have a good relationship with his son, and then he wanted to. He had a lot of debt. The dad had a lot of debt.
Yeah.
And he like spent his whole life. His whole life's purpose was to get rid of all his debt.
Yeah.
So that when he dies, he doesn't pass it on to the son, right? And then years later, the dad's close to death. He's talking to the son. He's like, "I did all this for you, son." And then the son's thinking in his head, "You can't pass on debt if you die. you did all that for no reason. You're dumb." You
Yeah.
know? But he didn't say that to the dad. But it just shows you the dad focused on the wrong shit.
No, but I think he does transfer. It doesn't?
No.
I heard like I've always been told that.
No, dad doesn't transfer.
Oh shit, that's
So the
good.
dad did all that for no reason.
Damn.
His whole life. But the son
Whole
never
fucking
didn't
life.
tell him that.
Yeah, I was like,
You know? But that just shows you people focus on the wrong shit sometimes.
yeah,
Like they try to, like when it comes to like parent-kid relationship, sometimes the parents would do something for the kid that they think the kid wants. But the whole time it's not really what the kid wants, it's what the parents think the kid wants.
Yeah.
But the kid really wants something else, you know?
no, I get
So
that.
it's like you should really just fucking talk to your kid.
But
about what
also-
they want.
The other lesson I got from your story is like the opposite bad lesson. Like, get as much debt as you want. Then guess what? You ain't gotta pay that shit off when you die.
I guess
No,
so. I guess
you know,
so.
max out every fucking credit card. Let's go.
I
No, I'm
mean,
just
you can
joking.
really do that, can't you? Can't you like
I'm pretty.
declare bankruptcy on yourself?
You can. I think you
Right.
can, but I don't know. I honestly don't know how that shit works. But I'm pretty. I don't know how it works if you literally had hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in debt. I don't know if that.
I know a lot of like financial people do that type of shit to get away with money.
Yeah.
You know.
But